Today, we're going to bring a network cable tester. Now, this is a perfect item. If you work in the IT business or in the infrastructure of networking, this is something you should be aware of and you should know about these things. Sometimes they break down and sometimes you need to upgrade your actual tools. So this is a great thing to have for those that are in the field and how simple it is to actually use. This is a basic one similar to others, but it has a lot of little features that are hidden here. Not only do it identify the actual lines, but actually you can identify if they're damaged too. That's another a very important thing that people need in the field, because most of the times when people are creating category 5 or category 6 cables, you never know if you connect them wrong or you actually label them or I did misidentify them, and then you want to make sure you go back and validate your work. This is a great thing to do. Sometimes when I was working in the field, a lot of these third parties used to not label the stuff and just punch it down and set it up, and it was our job to go back in there and clean that up. And that's the hardest part, just finding the actual cables themselves. So this tool was very useful for those facilities, especially if you work in networks out there and if you have big infrastructures. This is a perfect item to have, just as an arsenal to the rest of the things that you have too. Now let's take a look at what you get. First of all, if you guys notice, they give you the actual little pouch in here, all included. The model number on this was the NF-082, all right? That's what it is. So let's go ahead and take everything apart. Believe it or not, you're not going to need batteries for these. These are actually not batteries that are not needed, but you need to charge it. There is a charging station that you need to identify. And to identify, it's right here. It's a type C connection. This will give you many hours, and you don't have to worry about ever buying those 9-volt batteries. It's built in here. To turn it on is simple. You just click on it and it turns on. Right now, if you guys can see, we have it as scan. And then if you are going to do a different Cat 3 unit system, NCV will be the connection, and you could connect it to the side of it and the other unit. So we're going to take a look at that part too. And of course, they give you a lamp, and the lamp is actually just an LED light right in front of it. So if you ever need any kind of lamp during a outage or something, this is what come in handy. Now the volume control also controls the actual distance and the tone of it too. So that's, make sure that you're aware of that. So the closer you get to the device, the louder it's going to get. But then if you keep it to the highest, it's going to be on in every single cable you touch. So you got to make sure you are at least halfway or somewhere on there so you can identify the correct cable. You don't want to mislabel the wrong cable too. Even this could throw you off too. So you got to be aware of that. Now, if you guys notice, there is a listing of all the cable lines that you have in here, and that you could go in details in the actual manual too itself. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Let's go ahead. Of course, they give you a type C connection for the charging station, and they give you some headsets, because these things could get a little loud in when you're identifying lines, all right? So sometimes if you're working on the field in the construction, you want to make sure you want to concentrate on the actual what you're looking for. So this is a plus right here. And of course, you connect it on the side. It's a 3.5 jack that you connect. And of course, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the RJ45 connection a bit. Now, this unit itself, it's one of the best units I've seen out there, that the compact, because I've seen some very large units that will actually give you a lot more information, but it's not necessary when you have something like this. Very simple, easy to take on big jobs. Now, right now you have the tone off and then on, all right? So turn it on is pretty much on the top. Scan, you actually have this system actually beeping so it could find the other section on it. QC, the same thing. Like I said, if you're going to do the QC, it'll be the same identical here. You will have to go in through here. You connect the connection through here. You could find it in there and on the other end, but you have to make sure you connect it to the NCV. This one could take RJ11 and RJ45, but most of the times, a lot of businesses have RJ45 because it's cheaper, of course. Now, this also is a Type C connection that you're going to be able to charge it. So this could mislead you if you don't play around with the audio. So I would suggest getting a cable, 3-foot cable, start messing around with it. And because as soon as another cable touches another cable, it will identify the same cable as that. So make sure that you tone down the actual system in order to identify the correct cable, right? So you have all these options in here. And of course, on the bottom here, this is a great little item. You could connect your RJ45 to actually identify if there's any kind of breaks or anything, if it's even active too. So a lot of great features you can do that. The manual comes with all the great instructions for the proper job that you require. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's go ahead and test it out. All right, so today we're gonna take a look at it. So if you guys can see it right now, I have it a tone and it's still marking some flash, so it's active. So right now the actual connection that we're gonna try out is this one right here. In particular, it's connected directly. Now, a couple of features that you need to know: QC connections on this side, RJ45 on here, RJ11 on the top. So right now we're doing RJ45 Cat 5E. We're gonna set it up here and it is connected. This is pretty much it. So we're gonna connect it here on the top of it, and we're gonna do a tone, all right, tone on, and we're gonna do a scan. But if you do QC, you're gonna have to connect it here, and that's, you have to switch it here. So you could do QC, that means you have to connect the connection here, and then of course we got flash, and then but we're gonna go right now to scan. Getting closer, not on the right port, not on the right port, it's telling you. See that? Now when we get here, there we go. That's what we want to see. You could turn it down a little bit if you want. The power on it, like not too hard. Want to say very powerful. But if you want to keep it on 1, maybe 1. That means the tone level, it's not gonna tone here. You guys notice it's not toning, it's not toning, it's not toning. But if we go to this one, it tones. So the power is up here that you have to control it. So I would suggest, if you really want it powerful, you could go all the way up, but then it's going to be more confusing because it's going to be beeping all the time. So right now we're not doing anything. If you guys can see it, just by toning it down, you're able to find the actual connection. I'm able to find the connection. Now, great features about these, that you could connect the actual RJ45 on here on the bottom to see if there's even active line, so it could tell you if it's damaged or not by connecting it to. Another great feature that I like, there's an LED light here on the top. Look at this. So lamp. 99.6 of you are not subscribers in my channel. I hope that the content helps you out and that you find it very useful, and I hope you hit the like and subscribe.